Hi, everybody. Welcome to our call with Curtis Jacobs. As always, please mute yourself if you're not already, and I'll call on you to unmute. We will start with Rich Scarscella.
Morning, Curtis. How are you today?
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Curtis, can you describe your determination, I guess, following the Michigan game, and how motivated were you for Minnesota?
Obviously I was extremely motivated. Obviously as a defense, we didn't show what we were capable of in that game against Michigan. And I felt like we had something to prove. So we definitely came up with a chip on our shoulder. We just came out there ready to win, doing whatever we needed to win.
Daniel.
Curtis, we saw you back at the SAM for the first time this season. What was that move over there like for you? And do you think that was something that enabled you to be so involved with 14 tackles?
It was a game plan decision we made for Minnesota. Obviously I feel comfortable about it. I worked myself into a position where I feel comfortable if they put me in any of those positions. So it's just about the preparation. I felt like we had good preparation going in that week. We had a good game plan and we executed.
Dan Hope.
Hi, Curtis. What stands out to you when you watch Ohio State's rushing offense, and what do you feel like you guys need to do better to have more success stopping the run against Ohio State than you did against Michigan?
It's just about us being ourselves for real. We got away from that at times this season, and I feel like if we just be ourselves and be dominant, we can play with anybody in the country.
Joe Smeltzer.
Hey, Curtis, thanks for the time. So going back in this season, the last two games have been against teams that primarily like to run the football offensively in Michigan and Minnesota. And then going back a few weeks, Auburn's kind of the same way. So what's the challenge in preparing for an Ohio State offense that's so balanced and both passes and runs the ball as well as it does?
It's just about being accountable. Everybody doing their job, having 11 people who do their job. That's really all it is. Obviously, you got to focus on different things. With runs, obviously expecting run. So you got to be a little more patient with your reads, but it's just about 11 guys doing their job to get the job done.
Andrew Destin.
Curtis, good morning. Thanks for doing this. Talked with a couple of guys yesterday, and both Tyler Warren and PJ Mustipher, who were talking about your development as a leader. PJ was telling some good stories about when you were younger, how you were a little bit quieter, but since then have developed a voice in that locker room. Could you talk about that? And how do you think you have developed as a leader during your time here, and specifically so this season with the defense? Thanks.
Yeah, I think this season has been big for me developing vocally. I always thought of myself as a visual leader, a guy that tries to do the right things and tries to encourage his teammates to do the right things. But I think just being able to talk more, just having more say in things, that has been big for me. And I feel like I've ran with that.
Alvaro Torres. You're muted. Can't hear you still. We'll come back to you. Let's move on to Andrew Clay for now.
Hey, Curtis. One of the things we heard from Pig after the Michigan loss was that some of the younger guys he thought maybe just weren't ready for the big moment in that game. Well, you got another big moment. Is there anything you guys think you can take from that Michigan game and how the players handled the moment and apply it to this week's preparation?
In my opinion, it's just preparation in itself. I hear Coach Franklin say this all the time. We don't have any rookies on this team anymore. It's obviously we have younger guys who aren't really used to the process, not really used to how things go. and that's on us as leaders. We gotta show them the way and make sure they're as ready as possible. So it's easy on game day.
Rich Scarcella.
Curtis, Abdul making his first start, what kind of impact did he have on the linebackers as a whole, and how do you think he did last week?
I think he had a great impact. Obviously that's a big moment to have your first start in. And I think he handled it really well. He was calm all week, like it was just another week in the office for him. So I think that attests to his preparation and how he goes about things and how mature he's gotten at this point of the season.
Daniel Gallen.
Curtis, with Abdul, I mean, what does it say about him as a freshman to where he's at the point where, we've seen Penn State be pretty, I don't know if rigid is the right word, but the roles are pretty defined at linebacker. But what does it say about him to kind of be at the point where you'll shuffle things around and, get him onto the field?
Yeah, it's incredible. Obviously he's a guy you can't keep off the field, and that's one of the first things I told you. I told him when he got on campus is just make sure be undeniable, make it clear why you need to be playing, and show people what we all see. So I feel like he's done that, and he's gonna keep doing that.
Alvaro, we could try it again.
Hi, hello. Yes. Hi, Curtis. How are you? I hope you're having a great day, and thank you for your time.
No
Well,
problem.
how important was it for you to have your career high in total tackles for a game after the disappointing loss to Michigan and going into such a big game against Ohio State?
I would say it was a good feeling. But what really felt better was just knowing I did my job and knowing I did it at a high level every play. That's really the biggest thing we focused on going into this week is guys trying to play in the framework of defense and being able to trust their teammates. And I feel like the biggest thing I'm most proud of is I had trust in all 11 guys on the field, and I feel like they had trust in me. So I feel like that's what's going to make us a better defense, and that's what's going to give us an advantage as we head down this stretch.
Dan Hope.
Hey, Curtis, when you watch Ohio State's offense, are there any players or anything particular if they do that really stands out to you?
They are really good at creating explosive plays. So that's one of the biggest things you got to limit. It's a major key to winning games is creating explosive plays on offense and limiting explosive plays on defense. So I feel like their ability to create explosive plays is one of the best in the country, if not the best in the country. So we got to definitely come ready to play on Saturday.
Andrew Dustin.
Curtis, back in the spring, James Franklin said that eventually you would need to step up as a leader of that linebacker room and the defense in general. Is there a moment that you look back to, either from the summer or maybe the fall, that you realized that, one, it was time for you to step up as a leader, and how did you know that you were stepping into that role? Thanks.
Well, I pretty much knew it going into winter workouts for real. I knew what we were losing. The guys that we did lose, they told me what I had to do. Coach Pry even told me what I had to do, along with Coach Franklin and Coach Diaz. So I knew the situation I was going into. I just had to be resilient and just keep pushing and keep being me. I feel like that just helped. And then just obviously it came with the being able to speak up more and being able to help my teammates as much as I can.
Rich Scarcella.
Curtis, before I ask you the question, what's the name of your dog and when did you get him?
I actually got him Saturday night. My parents brought him up. I haven't came up with a name yet. I'm working on it. I'm thinking about Lil Z or Za.
What kind of dog is it?
She a pit bull. She's a little crybaby right now. She was whining when I had her on the ground. So
Okay. Hey, what do you see on film from CJ Stroud?
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's okay. What do you see on film, on tape from CJ Stroud?
I think he's a really good poised quarterback. The best quarterback we played all season. I feel like you have to match up routes against him. He's definitely you leave space with these receivers with their skill, he's gonna get it there and it's gonna be a completion. So we gotta be sturdy, how we've been all year. Get hands on balls, create turnovers, and make plays.
Joe Smeltzer.
Curtis, so when we talked to you leading up to the Auburn game, you mentioned that you like to pick Jack Ham's brain every chance you get. When you and Jack get to talk, what do you pick his brain about, and how do those conversations usually go?
Well, it's normally like we talk about who we're playing that week, stuff they like to do. Really, that's more of like a short conversation because I only really get to see him a couple of days, like probably once a week when we have our little Thursday walkthrough. I've been loving having Coach Connor on the staff because he probably has become one of the hardest workers in that office. He puts together a little packet for me to just go through and get my mind right, get everything I need to just like all the cheat sheet stuff. You feel me? Get everything I need about the defense and our game plan for that week. So I feel like those two guys have been really big for me coming into the season, and I've been loving the advice that they gave me.
Got time for two more. We'll start with Daniel Gaylton.
Curtis, what has PJ meant to the team both on the field and off the field after not having him for most of last year?
I feel like PJ has been the heart of our team for everything really runs through him. He's the guy on the defense that when he's talking, you listen, and really as a whole team, when he's talking, you listen. He's been here as long as anybody. He knows the process. He knows how to win, and he comes into every day with the process. So I feel like that's just been an incredible motivation, especially for the young guys, seeing it and seeing the success it can bring you.
Last question, Andrew Play.
First, I want to go back to what you were just talking about with Dan Connor. How important is it, or how important has it been to the players' development, the linebacking room's development, that you do have guys like Jack Ham and Dan Connor around, guys who played there, been there, done that, and have done it very well?
It's always great to have guys that know the game around you. Because I feel like I can talk to him about anything outside of like football. I can talk to him about life, how he's been, the decisions he's made on his path through Penn State. So I feel like that information is incredibly valuable, and we need a guy like that on the team.
All right. Thank you, Curtis. Thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Curtis.
Curtis.
Appreciate it.